All right, welcome everyone to Grit Girl Rock Stars in Trades. And today, all the way from Manchester, United Kingdom, is our guest, Pamela Evans, the digger lady, hashtag dig like a girl. I'm super excited to have you here with us today, Pamela, highlighting you and what you can do for everyone there in Manchester, United Kingdom. Just a little bit about Pamela. She is a female-led company, Evans Excavation Limited, and all the decisions and the dirt is being dug solely by you. I think that's fantastic. And you were taught by your dad starting at age 6. I think that's incredible. So you're like a lifelong excavator, and you got your digger license, making you the first female in the Northwest and the youngest person in the country to get that qualification. You are truly a girl rock star in the trade. So, welcome, Pamela. I'm super excited for you to be here today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too. Thank you so much for a lovely introduction.
Yeah. So tell us a little more about you and how you got your start in the excavation industry. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, like you said, my dad kind of taught me from a very young age. He would take help in the digger from then, really, and kind of always wanted to do it. Back then, you had to be 21 to get your license, so I had quite a long wait and quite a lot of being told, like through high school, oh no, you shouldn't do that. It's a man's job. It's not. You can't do that. It's not going to happen. And then eventually, when I was old enough, I got my license and thought, yeah, it is going to happen, and went from there, really.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'll show you.
Basically, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said your dad taught you from a young age. Tell me kind of what that looked like when you were growing up.
um, so I mean, my dad kind of, it wasn't really an issue that, or even a thing that I was his daughter or his son. It was just the fact that sometimes I had to go with him for work because if my mum was working, it was just one of them things through the school holidays and what have you. So it would just be, starting off sat on his knee, doing levers with him and stuff. And then when he kind of realised that I actually could do it, he would be like, right, okay, we're going to do this, and just sort of put cushions on the seat or bricks under my feet and just let me kind of track up and down. And then it kind of got more and more where he felt like, yeah, I can get out and I can leave her to kind of do this type of stuff. And the odd times he would be like, well, do you know what, come and have the day off school because you can come and do some digging with me. And it kind of just grew from there.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I think it's super important for parents to involve their kids in what they do and their daily lives. And you know as well as I do, being in construction, that takes up a lot of your time during the day. Sometimes you work off hours or after hours or on the weekends, whatever it takes to get the job done, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me, Pamela, what has been one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome being a woman in your field of work?
I think probably kind of fighting for that respect on site. Being on a building site is different from doing domestic work, and it was harder. I mean, I was only like 21, going onto building sites where there was like me and 100 men, and it was quite scary, and there was some things that were really inappropriate, and it was hard, and to get people to actually not look at you and judge you before you've actually got in the machine and done the job that you're there to actually do. Instead of having that attitude like, oh, she's here to entertain the lads, that type of thing, it's, that was trying to overcome that actually I'm here to do a job that I'm really good at. So, let me crack on with that. That was the hardest thing. It took a long, long time, to actually, you know, be taken seriously, make a name for yourself. And obviously now I have my own excavation company. But yeah, that was the hardest part, I'd say.
Yeah. I hear that from a lot of ladies, here in the States as well, that, being taken seriously for your skill set and what you're able
Yeah.
to do, it is really, like, I think it's a universal challenge for women in construction, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, even now I'll get, you know, like someone will ring up and say, oh, I want some excavation work doing. Can I speak to your husband or your boss? And I'll be like, you're speaking to him, you know, what do you want? That type, it's still that kind of ingrained that, oh, you must be the secretary or the wife, or, you know, that it's just, and I just want it, hopefully by the time, you know, my daughter is, whether she's thinking about going construction or whatever she wants to go into, that attitude is kind of gone, hopefully gone out the window, and we can just all kind of crack on and do what we need to do.
Right, right. Like, I heard a lady speaking the other day, and she was like, we dream of a day when tradespeople are just tradespeople. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you're a
Yeah,
tradesperson. And I think that's a great mentality to have.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right. So let's flip that coin. What has been your biggest learning experience being in the construction industry?
Oh gosh, I think definitely having your own company is definitely time, learning how to kind of really, you know, spread your time, and for family, work, etc. Um, and I think maybe sometimes kind of again flipping the coin is maybe just getting over yourself a bit, that yeah, I am a woman, so, and I know that, so why don't I just get on with it and stop banging on about it? You know, maybe some people aren't actually that bothered, so it's kind of like that side of things as well.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. I own my own company here in the States too. So I do concrete finishing, like polishing
Right.
concrete, epoxy
Oh,
coatings, and that kind of stuff. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm just resonating with everything you're saying because it's true. Like, you answer the phone and they're like, I need an estimate for XYZ. Okay, great. I'll meet you at such and such time and such date. Oh, you're gonna come? There's not somebody else. They're just really surprised that it's the lady that's answering the phone is gonna come out and talk to them about this
Yeah.
project. And so, and then when I'm on the job site doing the work, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, well, how long have you been with the company? And I have to kindly remind them that, hey, I own the companies. So, okay. So, what resources have helped you advance your career as a trades professional? Like, if there have been any organizations, mentors, who's helped you kind of climb that ladder?
So I guess for me, it's I would have to say it's a lot of the builders that I work with. Um, there is a lot of really good guys out there who, you know, kind of as I've kind of grown up and created the business, and I had no sort of big business background, just having to you know, people taking you under their wing a bit, and, you know, don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid that you're going to look stupid just because you know, you've got a thirst for knowledge, so use it, and that's the only way to kind of get better. Don't be afraid. If you don't know something, then you can learn it. There's no shame in kind of not knowing certain things. You know, I would say since having my own company, I've learned so much about ground, the different variations of ground, you know, speaking to building inspectors when they come out to do investigations, actually saying, well, can we have a chat? Can you give me some more information on this? Can you give me some information on trees? You know, just asking that questions, and people, you know, they're really happy to help you, and, you know, want you to understand their part. Or with, even with the builders, you know, I'm always asking, oh, well, what's this stage, what's this and that, because I think, you know, no matter how long you've been, I mean, I've been on machines for 20 years, but there's still always something that you can learn off somebody else. So it's, just kind of the people that you kind of around, that you work with, just always asking them, really. That's been my kind of support, if you like.
That's fantastic. I love that. I always tell all the people, all the ladies that I'm mentoring, like, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, that's how we learn, that's how we get better. So I love that you said that too. So, what advice, besides don't be afraid to ask questions, would you give to another woman who's just entering the trades, or perhaps maybe your younger self?
So I would definitely say ignore the negativity. I think if I'd have kind of ignored a lot of the gross comments that were said to me when I was like 21 on site, I maybe would have got a bit better quicker, or a bit further on quicker. But it kind of did take over at some point, where I was so worried what all of them were kind of saying, what do I look like, what do I this, it kind of. And I think that isn't important, because it doesn't matter whether you look like a supermodel or you just look like whatever. If you can do your job, then that's what you're there for. It doesn't matter, looks aside, whatever. That just kind of get on with it. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking, because if they're thinking a bad thing, you can't change that. They're going to think it anyway. So just do what you can do and ignore it.
So just do you, right? Just do you.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So being a woman in construction, I mean, there's different sets of challenges, and we've kind of touched on some of those. But what improvements or advancements do you see that still need to be made for women working on a construction site?
Toilets, 100% toilets, definitely. The facilities, they're still just so atrocious. Just really, really, like a couple of months ago, I actually was working on a big site, and I asked beforehand about the facilities on site, and the answer was, oh, well, there is a cubicle next to the urinals, so you just have to walk past the lads in the urinals to go in the cubicle. But if you just sort of knock on, we'll try and make sure they're not in there. And it's like, no, that's not, that isn't appropriate. One, you wouldn't be asked to do that in a bar or a restaurant. And two, it's kind of making that, before you even walked on site, it's making that separation that you've got to kind of put the lads out just, before you've even got there. They're already like, oh, we've got to move for a woman, we can't go to the toilet, it's you've already kind of putting people's backs up, when that doesn't need to happen. Surely it's, especially for a big business, just get an extra portal and put a sticker on it. That's how easy, things like that. It's still just, and I hear different women that I talk to on sites, and they still hear such like horrible stories of, it's not fair. There's no need for it. There really is no need for it.
Yeah, we have that same struggle here in the States. Sanitation is a huge issue. It's almost like it's not budgeted into the project to have that aspect taken care of. And honestly, we get there as women and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so gross. This is so disgusting. But I can't even imagine what the guys that are there all the time are thinking as well. Like, I can't imagine it's a pleasant experience for them either.
Definitely not. No.
Oh gosh. So let's get to know you a little bit better, Pamela. So what is one of your favorite things that you like to do outside of work?
So I'd say I really like hanging out with my sister. She has a little boy the same age as our children, are like 3 days apart. So we kind of like weekends we'll go like on a walk together and stuff like that. when the weather's actually nice here, which isn't that often. But hanging out in the garden, having friends round. Obviously, with COVID, that's, it's been a long time since we've all been able to do that. But hopefully, we can all get back to doing that soon. So yeah, just socialising with friends. Really, that's what I love. I love doing. Definitely.
Yeah, that's something I enjoy too. It's like, just kind of let your hair down and just chill for a little while,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, what is one of your secret weapons that help you to maintain your own health and wellness, whether that's physical or mental?
Um. So I would say I kind of mental health wise, I do kind of have like a word with myself quite often to look after myself mentally. I did after having my daughter, I did struggle quite bad with postnatal depression. And then I had like quite a long recovery period. And actually getting back on the machines massively helped me massively. So I kind of practice mindfulness quite often. I find that's a real big help for me, a good sort of check in, you know, in your mind that, you are looking after you, because it is really, really important. You might kind of look all right on the outside, but on the inside, things can be quite different. And, I think that's important for all of us to have that bit of a check in with ourselves, look after yourself. Physically, I'm not the best physically at looking after myself. I'll be honest. That needs addressing, but definitely mentally, yeah. Mindfulness has been a big help for me, definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So when you say you practice mindfulness, like give me a specific example of what would you do? Like, do you meditate? Do you just read self-help books or listen to books on audio? Give me a specific example.
So I actually learned about mindfulness when I was struggling with postnatal depression, and went on a course to sort of learn about it, to help how I was feeling. Um, and I guess it's when I kind of am going to bed, having that sort of chill time and sort of working your way through your body, starting from your toes up, just checking in with how you can feel them and how you feel, and your breathing, and maybe just thinking about nice, happy things. And I guess for me, a big thing was that, when you do have a, a bad thought, if you like, that, what, that's all it is. It's a thought, and it can have it's just there, and it will just go away. It doesn't mean anything. You can think about it, and it will just go away, and letting go of that kind of negativity. And I suppose when I was, younger on site, I probably did spend a lot of time out of work worrying a lot about what was going to happen on site, what people were going to say next, that type of thing. Um, and it probably did give me quite a lot of anxiety at the time. Whereas now I'd just be like, yeah, that's what they think. So I can't change that. So that's that. I'm not going to let it kind of destroy my world.
Yeah, kind of worry about the things that you can control and not what you
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
control. Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love
Mm.
that. All right. So, okay, last question. Who or what inspires you?
So I would have to say it is my little girl, Fifi. Um, she, she looks at the world where it doesn't matter, you know, girl, boy, religion, colour, whatever. Everyone's the same. Everyone, can be whatever they want to be. If you put your mind to it and you've got positivity, that's how she looks at the world, and that's how she looks at me. And that really, that really, really inspires me. um she's really um she's really resilient. So Sophia has recently been diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. which can be really full on, and it's massively life changing.
Uh-oh, I think we may have lost Pamela, but that's okay. I'm really excited that we had this opportunity to chat with you today, Pamela. And thank you so much for being here all the way from Manchester, United Kingdom. I look forward to connecting further with you. If you guys would like to connect with Pamela, you can find her on Instagram under the Digger Lady. And you can also use the hashtag dig like a girl or hashtag the digger lady. So again, Pamela Evans with Evans Excavation Limited from Manchester, United Kingdom. I'm so excited we got to spend some time together today, and I look forward to seeing all of you next time on Grit, Girl Rock Stars in Trades. Until next time, bye bye.